How are you today?
Thank you. It's better now.
Right, better. So were you ill?
Yes, I felt bad.
Is it a flu?
Maybe.
Oh, are you still on the sick leave?
No, I
You,
was.
you go to school.
No, I got a cold. I just had a headache and
Mhm.
asthma.
Running nose.
It's,
It's definitely flu. Oh, poor
but
you. Get better, okay?
thank you.
Right. Okay, how has the spring started for you? Any other news, anything special?
It's still cold. Um, I actually don't like this period
Me
because
too, I also
it's
don't like spring. It's so heartbreaking. Like you want some sun and you have
yes.
missed the warmth and instead rain,
Yes.
cloud, cold,
And it's dirty everywhere.
and dirty.
And
Exactly.
I'm also allergic to spring
Mm.
blo blo blossom.
Mhm, mhm. All
So
right.
I don't like spring.
Mhm.
Just waiting for summer.
Yes, the same, the same. My favorite seasons are summer and autumn. I do like autumn. It's very romantic.
No,
No, you don't like.
I don't like, but it's better than spring. But autumn is better.
And better than winter, isn't it? Oh, winter is better than.
I like winter when there's snow. It's so beautiful, and I like the New Year.
And New York together.
I love to
I
visit.
like everything.
Yes. Mm,
Right. Okay, good. So today we're gonna take actually grammar, relative clauses. All right. Let's begin then. Let's start with the theory. Mhm. Mhm. So, relative clauses make our sentence longer and more complicated, which is ideal for good band in your exam. Right? So relative clauses, they begin with a pronoun who, which, that, whose, and when, where. As for whom, it is a little bit old-fashioned. It is still possible, but who is much more common. For example, the former headmaster, whom or who many parents disliked, resigned last year. Whom in this way is more formal. That's why it's appropriate, maybe in this way. Right. However, if we use who, we need to pay attention if we need a preposition or not. And if it is who, then and there is a preposition, then this preposition goes at the end of the sentence. She married the man who she shared an office with. And if we use whom, then we put the preposition just before it. She married the man with whom she shared an office. Right? And of course, relative clauses can begin with what, meaning the thing which. I did exactly what you asked. Right. This information, is it clear? Did you understand it? Right. So there are two types of relative clauses, defining and non-defining. Defining clause is, well, they say that it gives necessary information. It can be in the middle or at the end of the sentence. Like, did you get the job that you applied for? So we can't, like, this is a very important part of our question. Well, the factory where my dad works is closing down. So particularly this factory. Now, what is the difference between that and which? That is more about spoken English, right? And in fact, we can even use that instead of who and whom in spoken English. I'd love to meet the person that wrote the song. Well, here we can use that because it's informal, spoken English. We can sometimes omit the relative pronoun, but only when it is the object of the verb. Да, мы можем опускать, еще раз по-русски продублирую, вот это вопросительное слово только если, когда оно является объектом в этом предложении. То есть, where is the pen? Вот здесь как бы that, по сути дела, является объектом этого предложения. Поэтому его можно убрать. Where is the pen I bought this morning? А вот, например, ну и здесь, по сути дела, where is the pen that I bought this morning? То есть мы видим, что дальше после that идет подлежащее сказуемое. Вот так даже, наверное, легче объяснить. То есть если после вот этого вопросительного слова идет подлежащее сказуемое, there is subject and predicate, we can omit it, мы можем пропустить. А если у нас идет, то есть вот этот that является как бы подлежащим для второй части, то, конечно, мы его не можем опустить. I'm looking for a shop that sells skateboards. Skate в данном случае подлежащее, subject, sells predicate. Конечно, здесь мы не можем его опустить. We often omit the relative adverb when. I still remember the moment I first saw Juliet. But again, you see, there is subject and predicate after this question word, so we can omit it. Вот здесь понятно, что я объяснила про relative clauses? Понятно, да?
Мгм.
Так, значит, самое важное, что здесь надо запомнить, что relative clauses, defining relative clauses, это самая важная информация, которую нельзя выкинуть. Что that – это более неформальный вариант всех этих вопросительных слов. И что вопросительное слово можно опустить, если после него идет подлежащее сказуемое. Если оно в роли подлежащего, мы его не можем опустить. Now let's talk about non-defining relative clauses. Well, it gives extra information about the noun. It can be removed from a sentence without making the sentence meaningless. It can be in the middle or at the end of the sentence, and it is separated by commas. Значит, вот not defining, да, не определяющее условное предложение, оно дает дополнительную информацию, которую, в принципе, можно убрать. И она всегда с запятыми выделяется. We spent a few nights in Windhoek, which is the capital of Namibia. В принципе, если убрать вторую часть, погода не поменяется. Поэтому здесь поставили запятую. Или Our neighbor, who used to be an actor, has started a drama society. Вот тоже вот это дополнение, если мы его берем, предложение также прекрасно будет существовать, и его самое важное, что он там, смысл, что он основал кружок драмы, не потеряется. И самое важное, здесь есть запятые.
Мгм.
A non-defining relative clause cannot start with that. Вот еще одно отличие, то, что здесь никакого that не будет.
Мгм.
Да? И, соответственно, никакие его and the relative pronoun cannot be omitted. И здесь мы ничего не можем опустить. There can be expressions, all of whom, many of whom, some of whom, most of which. Вот это все также выражения, которые показывают, что это non-defining relative clause. The company employs more than 3,000 staff, many of whom are women. Так. И which. Which может быть тоже здесь употребляться в non-defining relative clauses. И оно здесь характеризует существительное, которое было вот до него. I managed to visit 6 different countries, which was amazing. Кстати, оно здесь, да, оно может вот даже так, не к последнему слову, а к всему, вот даже ко всему предложению. То есть вот это все, то, что мне удалось посетить 6 разных стран, вот это было круто. Значит, самая важная информация. Выделяется запятыми, менее важная информация. Нету that, ничего нельзя опустить. Есть all of whom, many of whom, some of whom, most of which и так далее. Здесь понятно все. И последнее. Reduced relative clauses. Здесь, по сути дела, больше даже как герундий, не герундий, деепричастие, вот такой вот причастный оборот. То есть здесь знакомые нам инговое, допустим, окончание, либо с «иди». И здесь, значит, мы используем ing to replace an active verb of any tense. Да, мы используем глагол с окончанием ing, чтобы заменить глагол в активном залоге. Например, she was wearing a necklace originally belonging to her grandmother. То есть, по сути дела, если расшифровать, which originally belonged to her grandmother. А если у нас мы используем ed, то we replace a passive verb of any tense, то мы заменяем пассивный залог. The president visited several towns damaged by the flood. Да, президент посетил несколько городов, которые были разрушены наводнением. Так, и мы не можем вот так вот сократить условное предложение, если вот это вопросительное слово, да, как бы условное местоимение, является сейчас я сформулирую, как чтобы было понятно. Если оно является объектом первого предложения. То есть давайте посмотрим лучше на пример. She wears a necklace that she made herself. Вот здесь мы не можем все это убрать и сказать she wears a necklace made herself. Нет, надо говорить полностью. Почему? Потому что that относится как бы вот к necklace.
Мгм.
Получается, оно как бы становится объектом вот этого первого предложения, и здесь мы его не можем заменить. А вот здесь не, вот даже так. И здесь является, вот дальше идет подлежащее сказуемое. Не, вот, все, сейчас я вот так, значит, надо. Здесь после that идет подлежащее сказуемое. Видим? Вот почему. Поэтому мы его не можем никак убрать.
Мгм.
А здесь, например, she wears a necklace originally belonging to her, which originally belonged to her. То здесь все предложение об этом ожерелье. А здесь как бы меняется, ну, субъект, ну, даже сперва она говорилась об ожерелье, а потом которое она сделала сама. Ну, в общем, будем с вами разбираться. Right, page 108. Revan, you know what? Right. Okay, let's start with the first exercise, but let's change it a little bit. What I want you is to read the sentence and tell me like what type of a conditional, defining or not defining, and like we're going to discuss it a little bit grammatically. So number 1, would you like to read it, please?
What was the name of the English explorer who walked to the South Pole in 1912? Это defining clause.
Yeah, right. Okay. Number 2.
In 1911, when he was 42 years old, Captain Robert Scott organized an expedition to the South Pole. Non-defining.
Non-defining, good.
There were 33 people in Scott's expedition, which set out on 1st June 1910.
Is it defining or non-defining?
I think it's defining.
Well, actually non-defining. А если запятая? And can we say that here? Можно ли здесь на that поменять?
Нет.
Нет, да, потому что когда non-defining, мы на that ничего не можем. А, например, number 1, can we change who to that?
What was the name of explorer that walked to the South Pole? Можно.
Да, можно, хотя это будет уже разговорный вариант. Right, next one.
The men who Scott took with him were mostly army or naval officers.
Defining, non-defining?
Запятых нету. Defining.
Defining. Can we change who with that?
That. Можно. That.
Good. 5.
The Norwegian explorer Amundsen, whose party arrived at the South Pole a month earlier than Scott, returned home safely. Non-defining.
Can we say that here?
No.
No, good.
When Scott arrived at the South Pole, he found a tent and a letter, which Amundsen had left there for him. Non-defining.
Non-defining. 7.
Scott and his men all died before they could reach the supply depot, where they had left food and spare clothing. Non-defining. Scott had taken horses instead of dogs with him, which most people agree was a big mistake. Это тоже non-defining.
Defining, good. Now let's go to exercise 2. And let's connect these two sentences together using who or which, adding commas where necessary, and making any other changes.
That's the man. He's going to buy our house. That is the man who is going to buy our house.
Good.
Without comma. I gave my daughter 20 euros. She spent it immediately. I gave my daughter 20 euros, which she spent immediately.
Okay, do we need commas here?
Yes, I suppose.
Yes, we do.
I live in a village called South Milton. It's a mile from the sea. I live in a village called South Milton, which is a mile from the sea. Comma.
Good.
Where are the sausages? Mom bought them on Saturday. Where are the sausages that mom, which mom bought?
Both is fine. Do we need a comma here?
No. Daniel Craig plays James Bond in Casino Royale. He also starred in the gangster film. Daniel Craig plays James Bond in Casino Royale, who also starred in the gangster film.
Wait, one more time. Didn't get it.
Daniel Craig plays James Bond in Casino Royale, who also starred in the gangster film.
Yes. Do we need a comma here?
No.
Well, I guess we do, right? Because we give some extra information, and the most important is the second part. Right. Now then, you need to complete the sentences with who, which, when, where, whose, and adding commas where necessary.
The shop which I usually get where the shop where I usually get my groceries stays open until 10.
Yes.
When most other shops are shut.
Where are the commas?
Там until 10 уже стоит.
Oh yeah. Yes, that then, just here, I guess. Okay, B.
This chest of drawers which I inherited from my grandmother, is 100 years old. Да?
Excellent.
Мгм. Patricia is the girl whose car we borrowed to go to the Spanish Spanish restaurant where they do great paella. Near my house is a park where there are some trees.
Yes.
Where there are some trees. Where my daughter loves climbing.
Where my daughter likes climbing, right.
The tall man who is standing over there is the cousin of the man who I introduced you last night.
Yes, good. Do we need a comma?
In the last sentence.
Of the man? No, I guess we
the
don't
man, no.
need, right? We will make it specific, like this particular man. Good. Right, now let's have a look again at these questions and tell me for where the relative pronoun could be omitted. Where the
the, например, да, this chest of drawers I inherited. From my
I inherited.
Sure.
Only this one. Okay, so now we're doing pronouns that could be omitted.
Omitted это убрать.
Omitted убраны, да. This chest of drawers. Ну да. Нет, вот в be не может быть which убрано, потому что это non-defining relative clause. Да, но запятыми. А там мы ничего убирать не можем. Вот сейчас я думаю.
Тут нет запятых. This chest of drawers. This chest of drawers is 100
И вот мы
years
даем
old.
дополнительную информацию, да,
Да,
which I inherited from my grandmother, is 100 years old. Так, тогда где же мы можем?
The shop, ну тут тоже стоит запятые. The Patricia is the girl. Spanish restaurant.
Тоже не можем. Look, for example, in D, near my house is a park where there are some trees. And then you see no commas. And then my daughter loves climbing. So actually here we can omit which. Да, то есть еще раз повторяю, мы можем опускать, когда это defining relative clause, да, то есть без запятых, который. И если после него есть подлежащее сказуемое. Где еще такая же ситуация? Еще одно предложение, ну там два места сразу.
Ну вот все, they do great paella. Restaurant where they do great paella. Paella.
Got that Spanish. Restaurant. Ну вот where там нельзя заменить. Ну то есть where нельзя опустить. Это смысловое. Значит, можно опустить who или which.
Now и the tall man
Вот.
is standing.
Да, вот это можно опустить.
Of the man who I introduced.
The man, да. I
The
introduced.
man I introduced you.
Вот.
I introduced.
Last night. Okay, now tell me where we can use that instead. Где можно на that заменить? Тоже, да, сразу ищем. Defining relative clauses.
В D, там, где which.
Да.
Some trees that my daughter loves.
That my daughter loves climbing. И еще
И
одно.
person of the man that I
Вот.
introduce you.
И, кстати, the tall man that is standing. Тоже хорошо. Right. And one more exercise. Correct the mistakes. Sometimes more than one answer is possible. Firstly, have a look at it yourself. I'm going to give you 1 or 2 minutes. And then let's discuss together. Tell me when you're ready.
Yeah, кажется, I'm done.
Right. Let's check.
He's going to retire at 50. which I find surprising.
Right. And we need a comma, right?
Comma.
Comma, which I will find surprising.
Elvis Presley, who was probably the most famous pop star, died in 19... Потому что это non-defining clause.
Non-defining, we need commas.
Pam Fisher, whose older brother is a doctor, has also decided to study medicine. Yeah? Whose older brother.
Тоже запятые. Так.
I got a letter this morning from my uncle Algernon, comma, who lives in Canada.
Excellent.
The childminder, comma, who looks after our children, comma, is ill today.
Childminder.
Или как, или that looks up.
Я, ну, можно who, можно low, можно that. Но, да, и здесь, наверное, запятые не нужны.
То есть из предложения не убирают, да? То есть the
Да,
childminder
а вот,
is ill today.
да, а вот видите, очень интересно. Вот если бы мы поставили, не, вернее, если бы мы не поставили запятую, I got a letter this morning from my uncle Algernon, who lives in Canada. Это значит, что у него есть много, то есть больше, чем один.
А это именно тот, который...
Да. А здесь, ну, просто дядя, который, ну, мы даем дополнительную информацию о нем. Поэтому нам нужна запятая. Да. Not bad at all. Ну, прям, на самом деле, порадовал. Well done. Very good.
А так что в последнем лучше? Там кома, нужны запятые.
Наверное, без оставим. Я сейчас, да, смотрю тоже в... I check also the teacher's book. It says no comma is necessary. Because, like, we like kind of specify... Like, because this is the main function of a childminder. And if we put commas, then it means like childminders, they can do different. We have a childminder that does this, then another childminder that does some other stuff. And as we specified this particular, then we don't need any. Right, okay, we kind of, let's start with a little speaking. And we're gonna, in particular, we're gonna practice part 2 with you. Okay, have a look at this photo. Well, actually in these two photos. And name as many objects as you can there. So what can you see there?
Just objects. Just name the objects.
Yeah, what can you see in this picture?
So in the first picture, there is a sofa, an armchair, a chair, and a table. And something is on the table.
I guess this is the cat jumping
Yes.
from the table. Right. What can you see in the second picture?
There is a fireplace, an armchair, and a picture, a table with the tea set, candle, lots of things, and curtains on the window.
It's a luxurious but a little bit cramped room. By the way, as for adjectives, let's learn what adjectives can you use to talk about rooms. Let's read and translate them.
Bare, пустой, bright, яркий, clean, чистый, cluttered.
Cluttered, like cramped, with a lot of some.
Заставленный, да?
Мгм.
Cold, холодный, cozy, удобный,
Мгм.
uncomfortable, тоже удобный, неудобный,
Мгм.
dimly lit, не знаю,
Like it isn't bright, dim, так тускло, тускло освещенно.
open plan, просторный,
Мгм.
relaxing, расслабляющий, и tidy, чистый.
Мгм. So, here you need to talk, sometimes you need to compare two pictures, and you need to talk about similarities and differences in the photos, which are the most obvious. Have a look at these expressions and tell me if you understand them, if they are clear for you. Everything is clear, right? Okay, now I want you to describe these two rooms in details. I want you to talk about their similarities and their differences. Try to use as many expressions as you can from exercise 3. Okay? I don't know how to, let's do it like this, I guess. Do you need some time to get ready?
I can start. So you can see rooms in both photos. And the room in photo 1 is bare. There is some furniture. Not so much furniture. It's much more open plan and tidy, bright and tidy. And in photo 2, there is also a furniture, but there are a lot of furniture and just similarities. That so in the second photo we also see the room, and there are a lot of things. But these two photos are very different. And the biggest difference between the photos is that photo 1 shows a bare room, bright bare room, whereas photo 2 shows a dimly lit and cluttered room.
Go on, good. The room in the second picture seems to be untidy and uncomfortable. While in the first picture, the room is, it seems to be more cozy, clean, and more relaxing. That's all. Okay, good. Well done. Very good description and very good vocabulary. Please note down some of the words, new words, and new expressions that you used and learned today for the next time. Какие-то делаем заметки. Вот эти прямо фразы обязательно выписываем, минимум выписать, максимум выучить, чтобы вот так же чудесно описывать потом в следующий раз. Мгм.
Мгм.
Очень хорошо, очень сильный ответ. And quite grammatically correct. There were just a few mistakes, but in fact, very nice, fluent description. Olga, well done. Значит, there is much more, or it is much more open plan. We can't say much more open plan. We can say it's more, okay, much more, let's say, open plan, but then
Мгм.
the second flat. So you need, if you use comparison more, then you need to finish it. If you don't want to finish it, then you need some other modifiers like quite or pretty or something like that, okay? And furniture is uncountable, so there is a lot of furniture. Everything else is correct. So what kind of person do you think lives in each place?
Maybe in the place like in the first picture.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can leave a single man without family, maybe with his cat, as well as a woman. In the second picture, I think this someone's grandma
Mm-hmm.
or grandparents that like such old-fashioned, maybe old-fashioned furniture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Right. What sort of lifestyle do you think they might have?
well, people who live in the room in the second picture, I think they like to visit theaters, to go to the art galleries.
Mm-hmm.
They are, as I have said, they are older, and people who live in the room in the first picture, I think it's about young people who like modern life and comfortable life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. That's correct. Everything is great. I'm quite happy with your results, Olga. Well done. Great progress. At home. So workbook, grammar, okay? Grammar part. Practice, please. And check yourself. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to write me or to bring it up at the beginning of our lesson and we'll discuss it. Okay? Right. Okay, then I wish you a pleasant evening and take care.
Thank you. Bye.